Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaivam Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nitya Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtiki. Hare Krishna. Welcome to this discussion of Srimad Bhagavatam. This discussion is on Canto 1, Chapter 30, Text 29. Uh, we'll start from Text 29 and we'll try to complete up to Text 45. So, in this entire in this specific chapter, we see that there is a Maharaj Yudhishthira has a realization of yes, he is actually a little bit perturbed, and because we find he is unable to hold the separation from Dhritarashtra, Gandhari, and Vidura. This this chapters, especially 13 to 15, tell the occurrences of things immediately after Krishna entered his pastimes in world. And Yudhishthir Maharaj is contemplating this next to Dhritarashtra leaving his home. Maharaj Yudhishthira will contemplate passing away of Krishna. So before Lord Krishna departs the world, or by the time Yudhishthir Maharaj hears that Lord Krishna has departed from this world, his uncle and aunt Rashtra and Gandhari quit home. Sutta Goswami describes these events leading to enthroning Parishit Maharaj as emperor of Hastinapur. Once Vidura, the former minister of Hastinapur, he comes to meet Pandavas. Before Kurukshetra war, Vidura was insulted and he was banished by Duryodhana, advising Dhritarashtra to favor righteous Pandavas. So Vidura goes on holy pilgrimage and meets Maitreya and who hears Srimad Bhagavata. And now that war is over, Vidura comes and chastises Dhritarashtra and tells him that it makes sense for him to leave the home. His wife Gandhari also follows him. Dhritarashtra later performs austerity with determination and eventually gets liberated. Uh, so now Vidura feels that he is happy. Vidura feels that he has mixed feelings of happiness and distress that we will see when we reach that part. So there are three main takeaways um, from this. One is the devotee knows art of converting reversals in his life into opportunity for spiritual advancement. Purpose of a saint visiting householder is only to enlighten them, not to enjoy their opulence. Saintly association is greatest boon in the world because it brings clarity in one's thought and inspires ones to pursue higher purposes of life. So these are some important points. Now let us start with shloka number 29. एवं राजा विदुरेण विदुरेण अनुजेन प्रज्ञचक्षुर्बोधित अजामिदः चित्वा शेषसः पाशान् प्रद्युम्नो निश्चक्रमाण भ्रात संदर्शित द्वा. Thus Maharaj Dhritarashtra, the scion of family of Ajamila, firmly convinced by introspective knowledge, broke at once the strong family and network of familial affection by his resolute determination. Thus, he immediately left home to set out on the path of liberation as directed by his younger brother, Vidura. Spiritual master actually gives impetus to us. Prabhupada makes a beautiful point here on the impact of spiritual master in our life. Lord Chaitanya was a great preacher, a preacher of principle of Srimad has stressed importance of association with sadhu, pure devotees of the Lord. He said that even a moment's association with a pure devotee, one can achieve all perfection. We are not ashamed to admit that the fact was experienced in our practical life, where we not favored by His divine grace, Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, by a first meeting for a few minutes only, it would not have been possible for us to accept this mighty task of describing Srimad Bhagavatam in English. So, so we can see the impact of spiritual master in Srila Prabhupada's life. Dhritarashtra is actually enthusiastic with this decision to give up family life because it relieved him of huge burden. It is like a person who is freed from stones tied to their legs. So this is our attachment. The attachment are for wealth, people, and position. This attachment results in bleeding and ends more suffering. Vidura has cut this rope with the sharp blade of words that Dhritarashtra felt very happy. The same thing is done to us by spiritual master. Thus we pray to him. He has cut. Thus we pray to him who has cut the multiple attachment and who also ensures that no new attachment comes to us. These attachments are like hooks running in different directions from our mind. Bank balance, money, power, vehicle, job security, parents, children. These are all attachments and are source of anxieties and problem. When we cut these attachments, we get really relieved from anxiety and everlasting benefit that one gets uh, by surrendering to Krishna. There are enormous benefits. Direct, so the one major thing is direct residency in Vaikuntha. So by association of Vidura, Dhritarashtra was able to give up his attachment and he was able to achieve a superior destination after his passing away from the body. Let us go to shloka number 13. Patim prayantam subalasya putri pati pratachanu jagama sadvi himalayam yasta danda praharsham manasvinam eva sat sampraharaha. The gentle and chaste Gandhari, who was daughter of King Subala of Kandahar or Gandhara, followed her husband, seeing that he was going to Himalaya mountains, which are the delight of those who have accepted the staff of the renounced orders like fighters who have accepted a good lashing from the enemy. Srila Prabhupada makes one important point here. A sannyasi is considered to be dead man civilly, and therefore wife becomes a civil widow without connection with her foreign husband. Maharaj Yudhishthira did not deny his faithful wife and she followed her husband at her own risk. Sannyasis accept a shroud as a sign of renounced order of life. There are two types of sannyasis, those who follow Mayavadi philosophy headed by Sripad Sakaracharya accept only one rod, but those who follow Vaishnavite philosophy accept combined rods, Tridanda. The Mayavadi sannyasis are Ekadandi sannyasis, whereas the Vaishnava sannyasis are known as Tridandi sannyasi, are more distinctly Tridandi Goswamis. Whereas Vaishnava sannyasis are known as Tridandi sannyasis, are more distinctly Tridandi Goswamis. In order to be distinguished from Mayavada philosophers, so Ekadandi sannyasis are mostly fond of Himalayas, but Vaishnava sannyasis are fond of Vrindavan and Puri. Vaishnava sannyasis are Narottamas, whereas Mayavadi sannyasis are Dhiras. Maharaj Dhritarashtra was advised to follow the Dhiras because at this stage it was difficult for him to become Narottama. And we understand that the destination which Maharaj Yudhishthir achieved, Maharaj Dhritarashtra achieved was that of Brahman realization. Then, Ajatashatru Kritamaitra Utagni Vipran Natva Tila Bhumi Go Bhumi Rukmai Graham Pravishto Guruvanda Naya Nacha Pashat Pitarao Saubalim Cha. Maharaj Yudhishthira, whose enemy was never born, performed his daily morning duties by praying, offering fire sacrifices to God and offering obeisances, grains, cows, land, and gold to Brahmanas. He then entered the palace to pay respects to elderly. However, he could not find his uncle's aunt, the daughter of King Subala. Here we can see Maharaj Yudhishthira was most pious king because he personally practiced daily the pious duties for householders. The householders are required to rise early in the morning and after bathing they should offer respects to deities at home by prayers, by offering fuel in sacrifice, sacred fire, by giving brahmanas in charity, land, cows, grains, gold, etc., and at last offering to elderly members due to respect and obeisances. One who is not prepared to practice injunctions described in Shastras cannot be a good man by book knowledge. So when we reach the Prabhupada's books, we should apply it in our day-to-day life. So we need to get up early, chant 16 rounds, follow four regulative principles. Then it becomes nice. We go to next shloka. तत्र सञ्जयम् आसीनं पप्रचौ विघ्नमानसः गवलगाने कवक्व न स्थातो वृद्धो हीनश्च नेत्रयोः. Maharaj Yudhishthira, full of anxiety, turned to Sanjaya, who was sitting there, and said, "O Sanjaya, where is your uncle who is old and blind? Ambajahat putrartha pitravaha kva gatashur api mai akrita pragne atabandhu sabharyaya asam asam sammana sammalam gangayam dukkito patat." Where is my well-wisher, Uncle Vidura and Mother Gangari, who is very afflicted due to all our sons' demands? My uncle Dhritarashtra was also very mortified due to the death of all his sons and grandsons. Undoubtedly, I am very grateful. Did he therefore take my offences very seriously and along with this wife drown himself in Ganges? We can see that Maharaj Yudhishthira and Arjuna anticipated after effects of Battle of Kurukshetra. Therefore, Arjuna declined to execute fighting. The fight was executed by will of Lord, but the effects of family agreement, as they had thought of it before, had to be true. Maharaj Yudhishthira was always conscious of great plight of his uncle Dhritarashtra and aunt Gandhari, and therefore he took all possible care of them in their old age and aggrieved conditions. So Prabhupada is writing that is the good nature of a good man and a devotee of Lord. A devotee never finds fault with others, but tries to find his own and thus rectify them as far as possible. पितारि उपरते पाण्डौ सर्वान् सुहृद शिशून्
arakshataam vyasanatah pitrau gatau itah. When my father Pandu fell down and we were all small children, these two uncles gave us protection from all kinds of calamities. They were always our good wishes. Alas, where have they gone from here? Suta uvacha kripaya sneha vaiklavyaत् suto virah karshitah आत्मेश्वरम् अचक्षानो न प्रत्ययाति पीडितः. So the Goswami said, because of compassion and mental agitation, Sanjaya, not having seen his own master, Dhritarashtra was aggrieved and could not properly reply to Maharaj Yudhishthira. Sanjaya was personal assistant of Maharaj Dhritarashtra for a very long time, and thus he had opportunity to study life of Dhritarashtra. And when he saw at last Dhritarashtra had left home without his knowledge, his sorrows had no bound. So he was attached to his master. Text 36. Vim Vimrajyashruni Panibhyam Vishtabhyatmanam Atmana Ajata Shabdam Pratyuse Prabho Padava Anusmaran. First he slowly pacified his mind by intelligence and wiping away his tears and thinking of the feet of his master, the Rashtra. He began to reply to Maharaj Yudhishthira. सञ्जय उवाच नाहं वेदं व्यवसितां पित्रोरकुलनन्दनः गान्धार्या वा महाबाहो मुषितो अस्ति महात्मभिः. Sanjaya said, "Mind the descendant of Kuru, I have no information of the determination of your two uncles and Gandhari. O king, I have been cheated by those great swords." So Prabhupada actually speaks the what is cheating. Dhritarashtra and Vidura, followed by Gana, did not disclose their determination to Sanjay, although he was constantly with Dhritarashtra's personal friend. Sanjay never thought that Dhritarashtra could perform any act without consulting him. But that Dhritarashtra going away from home was so confidential that it could not be disclosed even to Sanjaya. Sanatan Goswami also cheated the keeper of prison house while going away to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And similarly, Rabindranath Das Goswami also cheated his priest and left home for good to satisfy. To satisfy Lord, anything is good, for it is in relationship with absolute truth. We also had the same opportunity to cheat family members and leave home to engage in service of Srimad Bhagavatam. Such cheating was necessary for a great cause. There is no loss for any party in such transcendental fraud. So Prabhupada is telling it's the leaving home for Krishna responsibly is good. Generally, अतः गा अतः जगाम भगवान नारदासः तुम्बुरु प्रत्युत्या अभिवाद्याय सानुजो अभ्यर्चयन् मुनिम्. Translation. While Sanjaya was thus speaking, Sri Narada, the powerful devotee of Lord, appeared on the scene carrying his tumur. Maharaj Yudhishthira and his brothers received it properly by getting up from the seats and offering obeisances. Now, I started generally. There are two illusions in life. One illusion is thinking that I am fully dependent on one person. So Dhritarashtra dependency on Yudhishthira and Pandavas was like that. The second illusion is thinking that someone is dependent on me. Example, Yudhishthira is thinking that he is Dhritarashtra's maintainer. The first illusion of Dhritarashtra. The illusion of Dhritarashtra was of first type and it was removed by Vidura. The second illusion that we see here is right now affecting uh, Yudhishthir Maharaj, and Narada is coming down to remove this illusion. And this illusion of being a maintainer is very strong. So let us read the next two shlokas also. युधिष्ठिरोवाच नाहमेव गतिं पित्रोर्भगवान् क्व गतौ इतः अम्बाव आतपुत्रार्थ Kvagata cha tapasvini, Maharaj Yudhishthira said, O godly personality, I do not know where my two uncles have gone, nor can I find my ascetic aunt who is grief-stricken by loss of all her sons. कर्णधार इवापारे भगवान् पारदर्शकः अथवा आभाषे भगवान् नारदो मुनिसत्तमः. You are like a captain of a ship in a great ocean and you can direct us to our destination. Thus addressed the great personality Devarishi Narada, greatest of philosopher devotees, began to speak. Karnadar. Karna means ear, Daraha means one who can hold our ears and twist it. So when Pandavas and Sanjayas were lamenting, they began to hear the vibrating sound of Veena along with the sweet sound of Krishna's transcendental limbs. So Narada Muni's philosophical, it was Narada Muni. Narada Muni's philosophical reply to Yudhishthira uh, to break this illusion as a maintainer starts now. Narada Muni says, do not lament for anyone because everyone is under control of Supreme Lord. It is He only, Krishna only, who brings souls together and disperses them. All people attain their fate, either suffering or enjoyment, due to their karma, the reactions to the past deeds. Now here we can see Bhagavan, representative of Lord. So Narada is described as Bhagavan. So in this sloka, we also understand how we need to receive a senior devotee of the Lord. It takes a great effort to make a person devotee. Srila Prabhupada tells that 200 gallons of blood is spent. Srila Prabhupada stress. Material attachment is a big problem with all age groups. Small child is attached to balloons, toys, and so on. Young boys are attached to young girls. Married men are attached to bring comfort to the married life, like home, bank balance, car, better paying job, lot of children, not lot of children, one or two children. Beyond 50, age of 50, it is the anxieties in the body which put stress on the people, and hence they get too much attached to their body. Thus, material attachment is a common denomination among all the age group, among all the genders. Thus, the 10th offense on the holy name is to maintain material attachment even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. As a devotee, we need to overcome the material attachments. Then only we will be able to do a offenseless chanting. We see Dhritarashtra was maintaining material attachments till Vidura came back from pilgrimage. Dhritarashtra attempted so many assassination means on Pandavas, and he demonstrated nepotism, favoritism towards his sons. These are watering of material attachments. Material attachments is so illusory that Dhritarashtra, in spite of being or instead of losing all his children, did not come out of the attachment to the royal palace. He was still dreaming that he is only the king. Even now, it still does not have a grip on actual situation at all. He was still thinking that he is the king. He had an impression that if Duryodhana did not continue as king, it's fine. He will continue as a king. That is why Vidura sarcastically calls him as a Raja during his chastisement. Vidura, by telling this point, wants to impress the point that the goal of human life is Krishna. Maximize time for Krishna. Minimize time for ourselves, our sense gratification. Spiritual knowledge will humble us when we understand and realize the facts of life from spiritual point of view. We become more humble. We will come to ants and needs. We understand that we are very little control. Otherwise, we will just become no entity. We will just be a person with lot of
Using our uh, this means we are using the spirit.
something else and not being used for elevation in Krishna consciousness. So there are different stages to give up control in this material world. First one is I am in control. Second one is I am not in control. Third one is someone else in control. Fourth one is someone else is in control for my betterment. These are the different ways in which we can give up the control in this material world. These are different stages of realization also. So this is how we see control of Lord on our life. When we see this, we understand that Lord is controlling us and trying to take us back home, back to God. Dhritarashtra is told that he is not in control of anything. Time is in control, and time is in the form of death, and which is controlling the world. So anyway, at some point of time, Dhritarashtra is going to die. Therefore, it is better for him to leave this house. Vidura also points out that it is worse to prolong family ties till end of life. Now we can question: does this mean what that we need to understand when we need? That does mean that we should leave our family ties. We must have a clear understanding when to leave family ties. What is premature renunciation? What is right renunciation? The section of Vidura instructions Dhritarashtra may cause someone to renounce prematurely. We need to understand that there is a time for taking responsibility and there is a time for renunciation. This section is very satisfied for a married couple who are married for a very long time and have raised children. Children are married and they are independent. Srila Prabhupada's purports are written specifically for the average Indian mindset was stuck in artificial or superficial piety. So that is why when we read through this, we will see that um, what we are following currently is not okay. We need to give up. Let us go to next shloka. Narada Uvacha Mahakanchana Sucho Rajan Yadishvara Vasham Jagat Lokaha Safala Yasme Me Vahanti Balim Isitu Tasamyuknakti Bhutani Saheva Vayuknakti. Sri Narada said, O pious king, do not lament for anyone, for everyone is under the control of Supreme Lord. Therefore, all living beings and the leaders carry on worship to be well protected. It is He only who brings them together and disperses them. Let us read the next shloka also. यथागावो यथागावो नसि प्रोतस् सत्यं बद्धश्च धामभिः वाक्तान्त्यां नामाभिर्बद्धा वहन्ति बलिम् ईशितो. As a cow bound to the nose by a long rope is conditioned, so also human beings are bound by different Vedic injunctions and are conditioned to obey the orders of the Supreme. Text 43. यथा क्रीडोपास्काराणां संयोग इह इच्छाय क्रीडितो शातां तथैवश्चय नृणाम्. As a player sets up and disperses his playthings according to his own sweet will, so the supreme will of the Lord brings men together and separates. So there are a few interesting points here. All leaders of the world are posted and removed by Supreme Lord, who is the Father of everyone. People like father, executive heads of head, state, teachers are all awarded by Supreme Lord for a period of time. So these slokas 41, 42, 43 are all connected. In sloka number 41, in sloka number 41, we see that there is a line Brahma, Shiva, Indra, Chandra, Maharaj, Yudhishthira, or in modern history, Napoleon, Gandhi, Subhash, all the servants of the Lord, and they are placed in and removed from the respective position, the supreme will of the Lord. Then Prabhupada is writing, Maharaj Dhritarashtra was placed in that position according to his past deeds he had already suffered or enjoyed. the benefits accrued to him in the past. But due to his good luck, somehow or other, he had a good younger brother, Vidura, and by his instruction, he left to achieve salvation by closing all accounts in the material. Ordinarily, one cannot change the course of one's due to happiness and distress by plan. Everyone has to accept them as they come under subtle arrangement of kala or invincible time. So these three shlokas, 41, 42, 43, are connected. In 41, the focus is on removal of leaders from time to time. During that time, the leaders of the world can represent Lord and fulfill Lord's desire of establishing a dharmic rule or be a leader who misuses the authority and engages in sinful life. Dhritarashtra is a wrong leader. Yudhishthira is a good leader. So Dhritarashtra is removed and Yudhishthira is put back. And shloka number 42, the focus is on law of man and law of God. Law of man, law of God is deeper, law of man is very shallow. Man-made laws always have flaws. God-made laws are flawless. Man-made laws will have loopholes through which lawbreakers can escape. Now we see there are so many people who cheat the system for very long time. So these people have supporters. We can say that they are politically strong, military could not catch them, or politically very strong, so police cannot put them behind the bars. But so this police and military are unsuccessful in catching hold of them. But the main point is that police and law can be easily controlled by power of money. But in case of law, this is not possible. No one can escape God made laws. Example is the child protection law in US. Child can call cops if parents harass them, but children can call the police and complain about those parents. But children started misusing these laws, and hence, as a protection, they were given the rights to have arms. These children started carrying arms to the schools, and with the law in the hand of children and children being sometimes passionate, they go around shooting fellow students and teachers. The purpose of the law was to protect children, but it is simply misuse. The problem here is to here is that it is very important to get complete understanding. If there is a misunderstanding, then we will not be able to solve the problem, and this will result in complete dissatisfaction. But when we bring Krishna in center, uh, all problems are solved at its root cause, and there is no more dissatisfaction. God's law never changes, it remains the same. We are not body, we are soul. We need to engage in service of Krishna. This is told everywhere in the scriptures. These are like cow tied to the rope. Just like rope controls the cow, same way God's law controls the living entities. Example, Hiranyakashipu, he wanted to become a god. He wanted to make an impression that he can keep on doing whatever he wants. But then Lord came as Narasimha and taught him a good lesson. Devotees of the Lord naturally agree that everyone and everything is under the control of the Lord. For non-devotees like Hiranyakashipu, it is proven to them that that Lord comes to them in the form of death. So there is a shloka in Bhagavad Gita 10.34 which says, Mrityu sarvasya chaham udbhavasya cha bhavishyata iti shivaka chanarina smritil meda dhriti shama. So Krishna is telling that he is all devouring death. In this talked about the God's law as well as the men law. Now let us look at shloka number 43. This 43 shloka, there is a mention of yata kridapaskaranam samyoga vigamau iha. That means play sets up and disperses his playthings accordingly. Yes, some yoga and Vegamav needs to be explained. A rich man, Prabhupada is writing, a rich man gets his son born with a silver spoon in one. But
Reserve such a place, placed there by will of God. And at a particular moment when the child has to be removed from that place, he is also carried by will of Supreme. Even if child or father does not wish to be separated.
family relationship. The parents have to understand that they are just instruments and Krishna is orchestrating this through them. We see example of Srinivasa Acharya. Krishna, Chaitanya Das and Lakshmi Priya wanted to get children. He had a strong desire to get a child. He gets Srinivasacharya as a child. However, he later comes to know that it was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's desire that his movement be spread all over the world by Srinivasacharya. The devotees will know about the desire of Lord to bring great souls through them to this world. But common man cannot understand this. Prabhupada makes one interesting point here. It is assured in Bhagavad Gita that Lord saves the pure devotees who are surrendered unto Him without reservation from all sorts by reactions of sins, and there is no doubt about this. There is one more interesting line here in this purport. Neither rich man nor poor man has any control over such meetings or separations of living beings. The example of a player and plaything should not be misunderstood. One may argue that since the Lord is bound to award the reactionary results of our own action, the example of prayer cannot be applied. But it is not so. We must always remember the Lord is supreme, is the supreme, and He is not bound by law. This line is interesting that they try to bring karma as to be on supreme than everything. So they make offensive stories about Lord. People make stories which proves that karma is greater than law. These are offensive stories. These are karma mimanska stories. One example is that Gandhari cursed Krishna. This was the main cause of destruction of Kuru dynasty. So Krishna was the main cause of causing destruction of the Kuru dynasty. So Gandhari cursed Krishna that his dynasty will be destroyed. We know from Acharya's commentary that there are at least 7 reasons why Krishna enacted the Maushala Leela. There are few people who are religious but still atheistic mentality is there in them. Therefore, they get carried away by these ideas and views given by these speculators. These so-called religious people will have their faith destroyed because of this atheistic view. Srila Prabhupada's purports emphasizes the point that devotees will not listen to these type of commentaries. Actually, if you see the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, shloka number 14. Namam karmani limpanti name karma falesva iti mamyo abhijanati karma bhisan nasabhadyate. There is no work that affects me, nor do I aspire for fruits of action. One who understands these truths about me also does not become entangled in fruitive reactions of work. Then there is one more interesting shloka. ये चैव सात्विक भव रजसस् तमसश्चहे मत्तेवेति तान्विधि नत्वा aham teshu temai. Know that all the states of being, be they they be of goodness, passion, or ignorance, are manifested by my energy. I am in one sense everything, but independent. I am not under the modes of material nature, for they are of, on the contrary, within me. त्रिभिर्गुणमयैर्भावे एभिः सर्वमिदं जगत् मोहितं न विजानाति मामेभ्यं param avyayam. Deluded by 3 modes, goodness, passion, ignorance, the whole world does not know me. who am above the mode and inexhaustible. There is one more shloka. Janma karma च मेदिरम् एवं यो वेति तत्वता त्यक्तादेवं पुनर्जन्म naiti mameti swarjana. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. So, from this, it is very clear that Krishna is beyond karma, and one who knows this and practices life accordingly, he will also be free from karma and go back to Krishna's abode. The same is applicable also to the life and birth of great acharyas. This can be explained by analogy that when you throw a ball on the wall, ball will bounce back. Lord has potency to change the ball and the wall. Ball can be of iron and ball can be magnetic. So the ball will be absorbed by the wall. When the karmis generally when karmanis generally think, they have a notion that if they do hard work, they would get good result. If they do not get this, then they undergo emotional background and commit suicide. In case of devotees, they do not see the wall and wall. They throw the ball. Krishna may throw back the ball or keep it. Devotee does not see the wall, but they see Krishna's hand everywhere. If there is a return, they use it for Krishna service. If they do not get any result, they think Krishna wants to teach some patience. When we show these patience, Krishna throws a golden ball. Even if we have a thrown a cork ball on him, we get a golden ball. Ultimately, we need to know that Krishna is the only surrender for us. He is beyond any loss. Okay? There is actually one interesting story that one time Prabhuji wanted to catch a flight from New Delhi from Vrindavan. He had just had darshan of Radha Krishna and Krishna Balrama there. And then he packed luggage and got into car. He realized that he was getting late. And when he passed Krishna Balram Mandir, he had a strong desire to have darshan of Radha Shamasundara. Then one of the devotees puts a very big garland on it. So he usually will put it back on some other brahmachari. However, on that day, he did not do so. He then comes to Delhi airport. Instead of wearing it, he kept it in the bag. Then as soon as he gets into the flight, he gets a seat just at the rear end of the plane. Then he had two devotees sitting next to him. They then say that there is such a devotee and they are traveling with the devotee who has just passed away and his body is in the rear end of the plane. Immediately, this Prabhu put the garland on him. This Prabhu who passed away gone um, had gone to Vrindavan and done a lot of activities for temples development. And in another story, there was a Mataji who used to make small ornaments for Radharani in Radha Shamasundar temple. She used to collect funds slowly and one by and uh, and make these nice ornaments for Radharani. In one of the yatras, she donated it to Srimati Radharani. After that, this Mataji never came to Vrindavan. She soon became bedridden and she could not travel at all. So one time a brahmachari devotee traveling to Mumbai from Vrindavan was given an ornament and garland. Upon reaching, he inquired if there was any Mataji who is about to pass away. Immediately he was sent to this Mataji's home. She wore the ornament and passed away the same day. Therefore, we see that we need to see hand of Krishna in every instance. Why is Narada Muni saying this to Yudhishthira? We have to see hand of Krishna. Yudhishthira is thinking, who else is there for my uncle other than me? He thinks that he is the maintainer, protector, and controller of his uncle. The hundreds of these hundred sons of my uncle are not there, so I am the only person to take care. The main point that Narada Muni is making is that You are not required. It is Krishna who will take care of that. Okay, let us go to next shloka. Let us go to shloka number 45. तस्माजाहि अङ्गवैक्लव्यम् अज्ञानकथम् आत्मनः कथं त्वनाथकृपणा वर्तेरांस्ते च मामिना. Therefore, give up your anxiety due to ignorance of self. You are not thinking of how they, who are helpless poor creatures, will exist without you. This is a this is a very important verse. Uh, Katam tva anatha kripana, helpless kripana, poor creatures. Kripana means poor creatures. Old age people, invalid people, they are kripanas. They are like vegetables, just living and depending on others for all bodily functions. Lord is maintaining all living entities all over the world. He will survive. Everyone will survive without us. Okay. So we need not have to worry. We do not have to think that we are the maintainers. So this was exactly the problem of Bharat Maharaj. Bharat Maharaj thought without him, the the deer would not survive. So Vaishnava devotee means his heart should be soft. This is expected. That means compassion for other living entities, and that is justified. Now, important thing is it is important that we realize that Krishna is important, and when there are responsibilities which take us away from Krishna consciousness, then we need to give up the responsibility and focus on Krishna. In this specific chapter, so Bharat Maharaj did not give up his attachment for deer, and thus he has to take three birds. In case of in this chapter, we see that Yudhishthir Maharaj is getting associated with his uncle in the mode of goodness, and this compassion for any living entity is there. This is wonderful. Or sometimes this compassion becomes misplaced. So Narada as a Vaishnava Guru is waking up Yudhishthira. When somebody is put in our custody, we are just custodian. We do not own them. This means our children is our custody. We must raise them in a good way. That is our responsibilities. Same way, our parents, when they get old, they are in our custody. We need to take care of them properly. We should not get attached to them such that we forget Krishna. Next important point is that we should not get the master behavior that without me, nobody can take care of them. That is Mamada. Actually, there is a very good sloka in seventh canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. बालस्य नेह शरणं पितरौ नृसिंह नार्तस्य चागद निधन्वति मज्जतो न तप्तस्य तत्प्रतिविधिरिहांस शेषस्तावद् विभोत अनुवृतां तत् उपेक्षितानां. My Lord Nrsimhadev, O Supreme, because of a bodily conception of life, embodied souls neglected and not cared for you, for by you cannot do anything for their betterment. Whatever remedies they accept, although perhaps temporarily beneficial, are certainly impermanent. For example, a father and a mother cannot protect their child. A physician and medicine cannot relieve a suffering patient, and a boat on an ocean cannot protect a drowning man. So Hiranyakashipu wanted to kill Prahlad Maharaj, but he was totally unsuccessful. So under protection of Lord, there is actual protection. We protect others because we have protection of Krishna. This is something which we need to understand. Thank you very much. We will stop here. Thank you very much. Anchakalpatarubhyascha कृपा सिंधुभय च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय. जगत गुरु शिला प्रभुपाद की जय. बोल प्रेम हरि हरि. हरे कृष्ण.